What's going on? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about games coming to retail the week of November 5th. If you notice, I did not post a video last Monday. The reason why, some family stuff came up and some emergencies I need to handle, and it delayed everything being put on. So I chose to just delay this a week, and we had a really slow week this week, so I just kind of combined both weeks into one. It's still going to be a little bit of an update of last week, and I'm going to talk about the games from last week, but it's going to be more about the games that were missed and then the two games coming out this week that I found on the internet. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I did have to skip a day, had some family emergency I had to attend to, and I had to, just was a little busy because of that, and I was delayed on schedule. So just chose to just post one video this week for both. Thank you for understanding. I appreciate it. Now, let's get this video going. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Also keep in mind, if a release date changes, I'll make sure to update you about the release date, the new release date of the game in its new respective video. Let's show off some games. One that was missed last week, that came out last week, is going to be Inheritors by North Star Game Studios. North Star Game Studios is doing a lot of great stuff. They have some really, really awesome games coming out. Inheritors is going to be an open drafting hand management card game, and you're playing as one of the king's inheritors, right? You're seeking influence among the 5 clans to inherit the throne. It's a small box card game. It's kind of like, it has a lot of strategy with a lot of small boxes, with a small box within a small box. I almost said that entirely wrong. You're going to be playing cards to build influence. It's going to be a little bit of set collection. You're also going to have cards that you can use to kind of spy on your other players in the game, and when you spy on them, you're trying to find out what they have, what they're going for, where they're going for influence, because your goal is to have the most influence and to take inherit the throne. I was gonna say take over. You're not really, it's inheriting. You're not really trying to overthrow, cause some kind of anarchy. It's gonna be a lot of outsmarting your opponents by spying on them and outplaying them with different sets you're collecting and all that stuff. It's a very simple card game with gorgeous art. Check it out. Inheritors should be out already. Coming up next, that also came out last week, is going to be Call of Kilforth, a fantasy quest game. This game was on Kickstarter, and now it's coming out to retail, of course. There is a lot of different games of like the Call of Kilforth kind of like line of games. There's a couple of other ones. I'm not going to go into those only because it would be a crazy amount. But usually games like this are up my alley. I love campaign games, story games, cooperative games like this are always super fun. I like other games as well. However, this is just something I really enjoy. This is a fantasy game, and it's like a sequel and standalone expansion to Gloom of Kilforth, which is the other game I mentioned. Not going to go into that game. And Shadows of Kilforth. In this game, you're playing cooperatively, and you're going through a dark world of magic and peril and such. You're playing as heroes in the game, as always. You're playing the role of the hero. In this game, it's going to be a modular board with roleplay and set collection. I actually came onto BGG to show you because it had more images of people who posted the game, and I wanted to show you. Let's kind of fast forward this part here, and that's a little more of the boxes that came in. Yeah, this is a big box game that came in. I had an image up and I completely lost it. So I am going to skip the image for now and just tell you about the game. Apologize about that. But yeah, it's a dungeon crawling style game, right? Not really in a dungeon. It's a fantasy quest story game, but you're going to have modular tiles. You're going to have your heroes. You're going to upgrade your heroes. They're going to be given experience points and such, and upgrade. That's kind of the gist of the game. These games, usually what I keep in mind always, they're massive, right? Keep a la like Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven has like 100 scenarios and stuff like that. So much gameplay in it, but will you actually play through the whole game? That's kind of the commitment you make when you buy a game like this. Are you going to play through the whole entire game to justify sometimes some hefty price tags? Gloomhaven has gotten, of course, more affordable depending on where you buy it, but sometimes it doesn't make sense to buy a big, chunky, expensive game, takes up a whole Calyx shelf, only to play it once or twice. You might as well just have bought in, like, I don't know, Azul or something a little more affordable. So it's something to keep in mind with games like this. I love games like this. I adore them. I love them. I cannot wait to play them every time, and getting groups together and such, and just going through almost like meeting up for a Dungeons and Dragons session. But now it's like an RPG in a game on more of a board game instead of fantasy of the mind. I think I actually said that entirely wrong. Something of the mind. Theater of the mind is what I was looking for. Call of Kilforth came out last week. Check it out. It's a massively cool looking game. Coming up next, The Hunt, which also came out last week. The Hunt is by 25th Century Games. Pretty cool stuff. I was looking at this one for a while, and I'm going to show you some pictures here that are on their webpage. Always amazing. Please, publishers, market your game, present your game, get some nice pictures going. There's so many good Instagrammers or photographers who can take some great pictures or take them yourself. Always good to have them up. Please, 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 publishers. And this is kind of an example of that. Have so much information. In the hunt, it's asymmetrical, right? You're playing as the Royal Navy. You're playing as the leadership of the Royal Navy, or the other player plays the German Kriegsmarines. And the whole goal, you're head to head, right? You're going head to head, and you are being, depending on who is playing as who, the goal is to either as the British Royal Navy find the German Kriegsmarines, and you do that by a deck of cards. The deck of cards essentially are going to have different abilities, different effects and such, and each one plays a little differently. So if you're more of a aggro kind of guy, you're going to go in head first and attack. Maybe you should be playing the Royal Navy if you're going to be playing the British Royal Navy. And if you're playing as more of like kind of the sneakier one, low amount of troops, you're playing as the German Kriegsmarines. So a little bit of the expert. The hunt is an asymmetric duel in which one player assumes the leadership of the British Royal Navy, while the other player presents the German Kriegsmarine. Each player has their own deck of cards. In order for the German side to win, it must stay hidden from the British while sinking 5 cargo ships. The British player must hunt down and fight the Admiral Graf Spee in a final naval battle, in which case the side that ends up with less damage wins. It even includes different scenarios and such as you're playing, so like that kind of incorporates to like the variability of the game, which I think is amazing. The game looks great. I want to give it a shot. I really want to try it. $35 isn't not too bad if you played at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times. That's $5 per play if you do 7 times, which I think isn't too bad depending on the amount of time you play as well. This is The Hunt by 25th Century Games that already came out last week. Moving on to World Wonders by Arcane Wonders that also came out last week. This game is interesting one. I like it. So far, it's really, really tickling like the side of my brain. It's like I want to go in and discover and dive deep into the strategy of like how do you play this game. The biggest reason why is a lot of resource management. I said a little bit. That's a lot of resource management, and I don't know why that mechanic really does it for me. In World Wonders by Arcane Wonders, you're going to have gold, and your gold you're going to be using to build out your city. And there's different resources there's in your city. There are going to be different buildings that generate different resources, and in each game, you're going to have a specific amount of gold, and the gold is going to be used wisely per turn, right? Once you're out of gold, you're out. So you want to manage it efficiently to build out these different structures and build out different structures that give you resources, and those resources are going to be used to build World Wonders. Games like this I just something about resource management that I just love, and I want to try it. It's going to be one that I really have to get my hands on ASAP. I really want to try it super bad. Dice Tower gave it a seal of approval, which is interesting, and I want to give it a shot. I love games like this. I love little like resource management style games. That's kind of a big thing for me. I almost forgot to mention the fact it's not just resource management. It also has tile placement. So as you're placing your tiles and stuff, you're building out this city, and you're trying to build in the most efficient way possible. Generating your resources and building your world wonders are going to give you different points and such. I want to try it. It just screams at me, and like I said, I love resource management. World Wonders came out to you already last week. It looks like you can even check on the website. 240 in stock, might be 247 after the end of this video. Coming up next, we're going to be doing Jokkmokk, the Winter Market. I probably said that wrong, so I apologize. This is by WizKids, and it came out last week. Simple game, set collection, family friendly, has a lot of strategy involved, easy to learn, hard to master style game. When you're playing this game, there's a lot of modules you can throw in as well, so a lot of variability. The game looks gorgeous. I mean, I love how that looks on the table. The game, like I said, very straightforward and simple. A lot of great, it's very easy, family-friendly game with a lot of strategy, but hard to easy game to learn, hard to master, lots of strategy. A lot of modules you can throw in, of course, and that makes the game a little bit a lot of variability. I like it. I want to try it out. I want to give it a shot. There is a little bit of cultural influence here, not from myself, but it's influenced by a specific an event of a different culture, and I am not sure what that is, so I apologize for my ignorance. However, Jokkmokk, the Winter Market looks fun, simple game by WizKids coming out. It's already should be out to you. I am in such of a loop at the moment. Like when I say that, I mean like I am so used to like the way I say things that having to do this excerpt of like came out last week is really hard and difficult. So I'm stuttering a lot, and it throws me off my kind of pathway, right? That I'm already the wave I'm on of like just kind of knowing what I have to say. Moving on, Crowdy Games Portals is Portals by QVO Games is coming out to you on November 7th. We are now officially into the week we're presenting. There's only 2 games that I found, which is not a lot. So I'm glad I kind of jumped up, put those videos together. November 7th is going to be Portals by QVO Games. This game, interesting stuff. The reason why I found it interesting because it reminds me of a game that's really popular. In Portals, it's a abstract style game. You're going to have these boards, and your whole goal is essentially is to get these elemental stones lined up on their colors the best way you can. But that's not only it. You're going to have these key cards down here, and these key cards is where you're going to put your elements first, and then after you fill them up, you're going to be then setting them on this board, right? So let's say this one has 4, you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to try to put them without rearranging them. You're going to be putting them now onto your board. You can flip them 90 and 180 degrees, right? But you can't do diagonals and such. It just has to fit into the squares. And when you do it, you want to do your best to match color to color, right? A blue one goes a blue one, green one a green one, etc., etc. That is like your whole entire goal. A game this reminds me of is Azul. It reminds a lot of Azul so much, and just showing you here, you're going to be placing them on these different key cards, and you're going to be moving to your board. So, for example, here, right, you're going to be placing it. I was going to put putting it down, placing it on the section, and you can't do diagonal like that. You can't do like an angle. It has to be squared and match up with the squares and such. Interesting stuff. Cool little puzzle. Apparently comes with additional modules in solo mode as well, so a little bit of variability to play. Yeah, this game looks like it can challenge Azul for the top spot. You never know. I'm curious to see how it does. I'm really curious to see how it does. I want to give it a shot and try it myself. I want to try it out, and hopefully a friend has it, or I can play it at a boarding cafe, only because with the amount of games already on my list that I would like to buy, I don't think I can add this one in already. This is Portals by QVO Games, coming to you November 7th. Coming up next by Mindclash Games is going to be Voidfall, coming out to you November 9th. Wow. This game is one that I am super excited to play. I do have a copy that I purchased off their Kickstarter. This game was on Kickstarter. I'm a big fan of Mindclash. I don't know why. They just put out these games that I feel like are different. The themes and their mechanics and such. And it just feels cool. And I like how they play usually. There's one I haven't played, so I can't really say all of them. There's a couple I haven't played, but there's specific, so far the ones I have played, they just flow. It's just, and I don't know why, I don't know if it's like maybe like a teacher or what it was. There's so many influences, and that's a video within itself. Voidfall is going to be a 4X game, and what I like about this 4X game is that it's mitigating luck. I'm sorry, there is no luck involved. It's all based on skill and strategy, which I do enjoy, but the issue that I mentioned before with a game that has no luck involved, or it has minimum luck. My apologies. It has minimum luck, which is excellent, but it has more into the skill and strategy of the game. Minimum luck is fine. A lot of luck into these 4X games, geez, that really kills it. It's like, for example, there's a different 4X game where it's all dependent on dice rolls, and that's fine if some games include that, but like it seemed like everything was on a dice roll, and it's like, so you have no control of your actions, which for me was like, it killed the whole thing for me. I'm excited to play Voidfall. I am extremely excited to play Voidfall. It's like I said, minimum luck 4X style game, and it's going to have many different ways to play as well, including a cooperative mode, a solo mode, and a competitive mode. It comes with over 20 scenarios and 50 plus different map setups. Awesome stuff. I cannot wait. Here are a couple of pictures of how it's going to look, and it looks amazing. The deluxeified components for this are to die for. They are awesome. I love it. Yeah, Voidfall. And this is all the ships and your units and such. Epic. I can't wait. I am excited. I cannot wait to bring this out. It's going to be game night, cold ones, pizza, chips, and just like so much fun and laughter. I'm pumped. Voidfall is coming out to you November 9th by Mindclash Games. And yeah, we're at the end of the video. We made it. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for making it this far. I appreciate that. It was a pretty long video. I talked a lot, but I had fun. I had fun talking about these games, and I am super excited for a lot of these games to come out. I am pumped and ready. If you made it, thank you for making it this far into the video. I appreciate it. If you're buying these games, let me know in the comments. I want to know if you're going to be buying some of these games, or if there's another game you're going to buy. I would love to know. I love talking about that stuff and just understand, and just knowing like what games you're buying, why you're buying them. Is there like one you really looked into? Is it there's a specific emotional attachment to a game? I had a story once about someone who purchased a game because their relative played with them and the relative passed away, and they're like, well, I want to play this game now. It reminds me of my relative. So they bought a copy themselves after. It's a long, sad story. And it's, like I said, a different video for like attachments to games. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.